Hey gang, thanks for joining me on this video. We're going to play along through all the things we would have done in class today, but I wanted to do it as a video that you could pause and rewind and watch at your own leisure rather than try to meet all at the same time on Teams. That didn't seem really worthwhile. So let's get started. I'll get rid of some of this silliness on my screen, just trying to have a little fun here. So let's do this. I'm going to go to, that hand. So we're going to start with playing single notes on each string. We'll do 8 apiece. And just since you have a little better view here than you would have in class, hopefully you can see, again, I'm holding my pick sort of between the side of my finger and my thumb. Sometimes I'll hold it a little more like this, but I'm really trying to break that habit. This is what most guitar players do. And some people hold more between the side of the index finger like this, but I tend to bring my finger in a little more so it's kind of more on the knuckle. But generally not between the pads of the fingers. And again, not flat onto the string. I will hold it just like this, just so you can see, not flat, but a little bit of an angle. Not even 45 degrees, just a tiny bit. This makes a huge difference, that much. All right, so here we go. Let's turn on the metronome. I hope you can hear that. And we're going to play 8 times on each string. 1, 2, low E, and... A, D, G, B, and finally high E. Let's go back the other way. B again, D, A, I forgot to mention, if you haven't already, pause the video and tune up. Make sure you're in tune with me. And I think at this point we'll switch over to this hand. Wow, that's a little too close. And we're going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. I think another thing that I'm going to try to do here in this video is to not go too slowly. If you want to, this video will be on YouTube, so if you want to, you'll be able to actually slow the video down. If you go, probably most of you know this, but if you go to the little gear icon in the lower right hand side, you should be able to adjust the speed of the video. So why am I not lining up with my close-up here? There we go. So we're going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise, and I'm going to go a little faster than what we did in previous classes, but still half notes. So this is 80 beats per minute. Remember, we're starting at the 5th fret. It might be a little hard to tell, but this is the 5th fret right here on my screen. And we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4 at that tempo, and then move up. Here we go. So string on the low E string. 1, 2, ready, play. 5th string, repeat that high note. We're going to go back down. You know, I apologize. I'm going to pause right there. Let's pause at the top and then go back down because we haven't really connected those very often yet. So we're going to start from the pinky finger and work our way back down. 4, 3, 2, 1 on each string. All right, here we go again. 1, 2, ready, play. Pinky, high E, Eventually we will never pause up there, but I would just want to give you a chance to reset. All right, and that's it. If you want to do it twice as fast, like if you're someone who's been doing this for a while and you want to practice, I certainly welcome you to do that. I'm not going to do that in this video. You could even go faster. You could do eighth notes. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's one or two of you that can go way faster than that even, who are a little more advanced. But for right now, that's all we're going to do. Okay. Let's see if we can get to some single notes. So again, I'm going to go through these. I'm going to try to talk very little and just kind of speed through. When I say speed through from one to the next, but we'll take our time on each individual song. I do have this mirrored video down here. I did that on purpose because I think most people would prefer to see a mirror image of their hand as they're playing instead of a reverse image. So let me know how that works for you. All right. So just a little of this is going to be review. We will quit reviewing all of this stuff as we move forward. I promise. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so remember E, F, and G are our first three notes. E is on the open first string, high E, kind of obvious. First finger on the first fret is F, and finally G is on the third finger. Let me get to there we go, left hand close up. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so open, E, F, and G. I think you all know that. All right, we're moving on. So the first three we're not going to spend a lot of time on because we've done them so many times before. And this is, there we go, just all the open E notes. And let's put this, since we've done this several times before, let's put this at about 72 beats a minute. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. I'm doing all downstrokes here. Good. Hopefully you're keeping track of what notes are on what lines and spaces of the staff. Let's move on. Every time I go to a new one of these, I've got to zoom in. I apologize. All right. This is the same kind of warm-up. Remember, the only difference here, we're in 3/4 time, so with 3 notes in a measure. Mostly repeated notes. Here at the end, we're going right up and down the scale. E, F, G, F, back down to E. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, ready, play. Let's keep moving on. This one was the one where we're hovering a little bit, right? Zoom in there. That looks good. All right. So the idea with this one, and now that you maybe have a little better view, is just not to pick your finger up and take it very far away from the string. Keep it close to the string as you can. You know, a 1/4 inch is probably good there, give or take. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, play. right, and remember, quarter notes are these notes here that have the stems and are filled in. If it's hollow, it's a half note worth 2 beats, and a whole note is like a donut. It's worth 4 beats. All right, let's keep moving on. Time to add new notes here, B, C, and D. Let's see if I can get these all in here. So B is on the 3rd line of the staff, so you just got to keep track of that. And it's going to be on your 2nd string open. C is on the 4th space. We're always counting from the bottom up, by the way. 4th space of the staff is C, and the 4th line of the staff is D. And conveniently, they're right next door to E, F, and G on our fingerboard, so that should not be too hard to keep track of. But it's just a matter of keeping track of whether you want to be in your 2nd string or your 1st string as you're playing. So let's play this as a scale in half notes. We'll double it. I know it says quarter notes, but we'll double the value of all these just so we can play it all the way up and down like a scale. And when we get to the high G, we will repeat it and come back down. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 2 beats. Up to the E string. Repeat that G. With any of these, if you want to go back, rewind, please do. All right. This next one is only on the B string. All B's, C's, and D's. Should be easy. 1, 2, 2nd string, and here we go. Half notes. Whole note. Alright, awesome. Let's move on. This is our first song with both the 1st and the 2nd string. So I'm going to just do this for now. When we get to this part of the song here, I'll get rid of this mirrored video here. Okay? One thing about Jingle Bells, this is the first one where we have to move back and forth. So keep a lookout for, oh, I'm on my G. C is on my 2nd string, so you'll have to move from your G here to your C there. You might need to slow things down a little, and I will slow down these songs that incorporate both strings. Here again, open E goes down to D. Open E, D with your 3rd finger, 2nd fret. And remember, this only really happens once in this song, I believe, yes. But on Sleigh, we have a D and a G, so you can roll your finger between those 2 strings because they're on the same fret. All right, let's try it, and I think we'll slow this down. Whoops, I don't know what I just did here, but we'll slow it down some to, let's say 63 beats a minute. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Ready, next line. Here's that roll. Now this is the same as the first line. Last line. Awesome. All right, cool. Let's keep moving. If you want to go back over these, please do. Please just rewind it a few times. It would be good to get one of these songs really strong. But I also want to give you a lot of reinforcement on different songs. Sometimes people find one song easier than another for whatever reason. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and... Moving right along. Let's look at Ode to Joy, but I think we're just going to look at the first two lines for today, just to keep things simple. Remember, I'm not going to worry about explaining this rhythm to you right now. Just listen to it and you'll know how to play it. It was in Jingle Bells, by the way, too. And also, everything here is stepwise motion, right? It never leaps. It always goes to either the very next note, up or down, which means that when we're changing strings, you'll always go from an E to a D if you're going down, or from a D to an E if you're going up. So that kind of limits the amount of difficulty here a little bit. Let's just look at the first two lines. I'll tell you what, I'll play the whole thing. The last line is the same as the second line. This line's a little different with a few eighth notes in it, right? These guys move twice as fast as a quarter note. I think if you just listen, again, you'll get them. We can talk more about how to count them when we're in person. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, beginning. There's a roll. Last line. Awesome. All right, let's keep moving here. What do we have next? Skip to My Lou. Again, a few of these eighth notes here. And interestingly, the first and second lines are exactly the same notes as the third and fourth lines, but we just have different rhythms involved. All right. So again, we'll talk more about rhythms next time, but I think right now I'll just go ahead and play through it and you try to follow along. Let me slow down this one just a little bit. Let's go to 58 beats per minute. That's pretty slow, but 1, 2, ready, play. Here's D. Third line. So as you move through these, let me know if you have questions about any of this. I really feel like the challenge will be moving between the notes and recognizing everything, depending on if you've read music before, how much you've played the guitar. Sometimes we have different challenges, right? Sometimes I have someone who could play this with their eyes closed, but they don't recognize the notes on the screen. I have sometimes people who have read music before but have not played guitar before, so that's a different challenge. So let me know, and you kind of have to figure out what is your challenge. Is it the guitar or is it something else? I'm going to pause the video here for 1 second. All right, I'm back. Hopefully you didn't even notice the interruption. People are texting me about guitar lessons. Are they happening because of the snow? There's a duet here for Skip to My Lou, which we're not going to do. And the last song we're going to do is Beautiful Brown Eyes. which I'm going to zoom in just a little more. And I think that's the best I can do. And again, I'm going to just close my video here so that I'm out of the way. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, I know why. There we go. Okay, here we go. Let me get back to my metronome. I apologize. Here we go. And again, we'll do this at 63. I think most of you will be okay at 63, especially if you play through it once or twice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Rest, rest. All right. Couple of things that I didn't think to explain before we began, but let me go ahead and do it now. This little symbol right here at the end of the second line, that is a rest that's worth 2 beats. It's a half rest. Okay, so that's why I said rest, rest. Basically, you just play silence for 2 beats. And there's one other thing that's new, and that is a tie. Right down here at the last 2 bars, it just means you're going to take these 2 notes and combine them into one long note. So a dotted half note is worth 3 beats. We can talk about that more later. I just don't feel like it's going to be helpful for me to over-explain every detail of rhythm when you hear the song, you're going to get it. And so if these is worth 3 beats and this is worth 3 beats, then guess what? Together, combined, they're worth 6 beats. So let's do that one more time, now that you know that, and then we'll move on to chords. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Three beats. 2, 3. Rest. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. All right, cool. There we go. So we have now, at that point, played through all of these. Sorry, there we go. All of these songs here. Probably took a little longer than I would have liked, but it's worth taking the time to do it. So let's jump over here, and I have a few things that I want to show you that are new, and maybe a few songs as well. And let's see here. Okay, so let's take a look at a new few chords here. We'll just jump right into the new stuff. So the first new chord, and I think I need to get my window back up here for you guys. There we go. All right. I keep getting the wrong hand. There we go. Okay. So the D major chord. Let me make sure you can see it okay. So we learned the D7. D major actually happens a lot more often than D7. So just know D7 was an easier chord to switch to and from than D is, but you're going to see D more often. So you're going to want to know D. So your ring finger is on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and guess what? Hey, that's a D. We already know that from our single notes. And then you're going to want your 1st finger on your 3rd string, 2nd fret, and your middle finger back here on your 1st string, 2nd fret. So like when you're looking at the diagram here, it kind of looks almost like it's been flipped upside down from the D7, right? So here's D. And again, you can strum from the 5th string on up, no problems. The diagrams will usually say from the 4th string on up. You don't want an E in there. It doesn't fit. So don't play your low E. Sometimes you'll see me or other guitar players kind of bring their thumb around just enough to mute that string so that when you strum it, you don't really get a note out. And that way you can be a little more carefree about just strumming everything and knowing that that's just going to be a muffled note. All right? So practice that D chord. And here's something we have not done before. Let's see if I can get to, man, this is very confusing. I've got 2 screens. I don't know which one I'm pointing at the time. Yeah, that's all right. Let's do this. One thing you can do is practice just strumming and then lifting your fingers off ever so slightly and strumming the open strings and see if you can place them down again. So I don't think I've asked you to do that with any chords yet. Let me get, there we go, okay. So again, if you can see the left hand, in fact, you know what, you could just do this. Here's D. And then bring your fingers off the strings just the tiniest amount. I probably have about 1/4 inch or so. And strum the open strings, right? I'll do it so you can see. I never would strum up here normally, but just so you can see what's going on. And then lift off, but keep your fingers in that position. You don't have to do the same speed as me. Alright, so that's D. Start working on D a little bit here. And let's go back to the video. Now, we talked about a G chord. G is one of those chords that there's more than one right way to play it. Now, I showed you initially this way, which, by the way, is down the screen a little bit down here, with just 3 fingers, 1, 2, and we had our 3rd finger on top, right? Now I'm saying 3rd and 4th fingers. You might be saying, well, which one is it? There's more than one right way to do it, and sometimes it depends on what comes before or after it. So let me say this version of the G, there's no special name or nomenclature for it. I put a little star by it, oftentimes. And the only difference is your 3rd and 4th fingers go next door to each other. It will sound a little different than playing this. Not a lot. They're virtually interchangeable, but here's the thing. The reason I'm showing you this now is if you're going to go to your D chord next or come from your D chord to your G chord, note that that ring finger can stay right where it is and the other fingers move around it. And that's kind of part of the charm of all of this, right? All right. So this G, anytime you see a G, you could play either one of them really, but I'm going to ask you if we're going to do D and G together, try this version. I think it'll be more helpful to you. So this is G, and I'll probably call this the 4-finger G chord. And the next 2 chords are A7 and A. So again, the 3rd finger can stay on this string, but for A7, it's going to slide down 1 fret, and the middle finger is going to hop over here to the 4th string, 2nd fret. And I'm strumming from the 5th string on up. If you haven't hit the low E on this one, actually won't sound bad, but you probably would avoid that most of the time. Again, I kind of am in this habit of if I don't want this note ringing out, bringing my thumb over and muting it. If you can do that, great. If you don't feel like you can do that at this point, don't. All right, so there's A7. And finally A, and in most cases the major chords are more common than the 7 chords in rock music and folk music and country music. So work on the major chords more than the dominant 7 chords. This one, as you can see, it's all 3 fingers. It's kind of crammed in here together, and there's multiple ways people could finger this, but the easiest thing that I've found is actually to keep the same thing as the A7 and tuck your 1st finger in here behind on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. Now, one of the things I like about this is that your 1st finger's in the same place as it would be for the D chord, and your 3rd finger's kind of getting squished back here. So let's practice going from D to A for a minute, all right? So we have D, again, 1st, 3rd, 2nd finger, And you might find yourself, if this is new to you, muting the first string sometimes. That's okay. Just try to get up on your fingertips as much as possible. Alright. Let's say we've done a whole measure of that. We want to go to A. I'm going to lift my middle finger up. I'm going to collapse this finger back onto my second fret, and that middle finger that lifted up is going to go over here to the fourth string. Might seem a little complicated at first, but it's very little movement. Go back, so we're going to lift the middle finger, push this finger out to make room for it to come back over to the first string. All right, let me check how my time's doing here. Oh, we're about 30 minutes in. Okay, good. So let's do that a couple more times, and we will allow a full measure to change. So we're going to go from D, we'll strum 4 times on the D. I won't put on the metronome. And then we'll take 4 beats to move the middle, I'm sorry, not the middle finger, the ring finger back, and then hop the middle finger over to the fourth string, right? So we go on D to A, 2, ready, play. Slide back, 2, 3, 4. Start changing. I like to lift that first, slide up, move the middle finger down, and all right. And you can do the same thing with D and G. I think that's a lot easier. Tuck the pinky finger in on top and move those 2 over. All right. So let's look at a couple of songs real quickly. I don't want to spend a ton of time on these. Actually, there's one more thing that's not listed here that I'm going to show you anyway. Let's do, I think the easiest one actually to start with is Margaritaville. And we're not going to worry about this intro figure today. I wonder if I can move this over a little bit. Oh, I can. Good. Hooray. So just for the video in class, I would probably do more, but I'm just going to strum quarter notes here. And notice it's D to A7 all the way through this first section here, this first verse. And then we're going to go from D to D7. When we get there, unfortunately, you just have to move everything. Now, if you don't want to move to D7 right away, you can just stay on D, actually. It would still sound fine. D7 just adds a little more detail. And then we'll have G, A, and D in the chorus. And I would do the 4-finger G here, again, so your ring finger's already in the right string as you go to A and then to D. So we'll go really slow here. So 1, and then once we get into class, we'll go a little faster, and we could do the you could do the Calypso strumming for this. If you're somebody that already knows how to play some of the stuff, I would just do Calypso. We'll do it both ways. So here we go. Keep my left hand down here. Quarters at first. 1, 2, 3, Vanilla sponge cake. Watching the sun bake. All of those tourists covered with oil. Now we're staying on A7 for quite a while. Strumming my 6th string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, here comes that beginning to boil. If you can get to the D7, here it is. Here's G, wasted away again in Margaritaville. You can stay on D if you want to. Searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know A7 at the end, it's nobody's fault. pause there for a second. So a little bit of extra movement there, and I'm sorry the last lyric ran off the screen. So let's do one more thing with the song. I'm going to go ahead and strum it the way I would if I were doing this. And I don't know if we've really talked about the Calypso that much. We've missed so many classes because of getting started on a Wednesday, and then we had a holiday, and now all of this stuff. But the Calypso Strum is basically, let me give you both hands here. I feel like we did this. It's down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up. So if you can't quite do that yet, you can just drum regular quarter notes or even whole notes. And here we go. This is, again, probably a little slower than the original version, but Margaritaville. Nibbling on sponge cake, jump in with me. Watching the sun bake. All of those tourists covered with oil. Strumming my sixth string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil. Wasting away again in Margaritaville. Searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. All right. Hopefully that puts you a little more of a Key West frame of mind instead of a snowy Athens, Ohio frame of mind this morning. I want to do one last thing here, and let's go back to these chord shapes. We'll add these to a song when I see you again next time. But let's start with G, and I just want to show you a cool little move you can do with the G chord. It works great for blues, and sometimes you can just throw it in on a song too. So we're holding a G chord, and really it doesn't matter which one you choose. If you choose this one or this one, it works both ways. If I'm strumming down and up, on every other chord I'm going to move my index finger up to the fourth string and then back down. So watch this. I'll even strum here so you can see a little bit. Ready? Yeah. Alright, so we get this nice shuffle groove. Cool? Alright, now we're going to do the same thing with this D. Let's do the C chord next, actually. The C chord's down here. Okay, right over here is our C chord. So remember our C chord, we haven't reviewed it much today. One, middle finger's on the fourth string and third finger's on the fifth string. All right, and with this one, we're going to take the middle finger and move it up to the third string every other beat. So it'll sound like this. All right, and the last one we're going to do, we're going to go back to D. And with this one, this is kind of the hardest one of the bunch. We're holding the chord. Instead of moving one finger, we're going to have to bring our pinky finger in. A little bit of a stretch. We're going to bring our pinky finger in on our third string, fourth fret. Definitely a little bit of a stretch if you haven't done that before. And if you can't do that right now, don't worry about it. But here's what it's going to be. So final thought is, let me put those three together for you. I'll do 2 measures of G, 2 measures of C, 2 measures of D, and then back to G, moving those fingers back and forth all the time. Try to play along with me if you can. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, G. Now we're going to go to C. Slow down here. We'll go there very slowly because we've not practiced going from G to C a lot yet. I know some of you can do it. Here we go. C chord. Ready? M. Go slowly to D because, again, unfortunately, you just have to move everything from C to D, but these are all chords that connect regularly, but just don't connect very well fingering wise. And finally, D, we're bringing the pinky finger in and out. Back to G. All right, so practice those chords here. D, the new version of G, and A7. Really, these two are kind of interchangeable, but again, A is going to pop up more often than A7. So if you need to, if A is hard for you, go ahead and do A7, but if you can, go ahead and do A. I think that's plenty of stuff for you to get into for today. And these other songs that are down here are songs that use these chords and some of the ones we did earlier. The first verse of Hey Jude is just D, A, and G. Later, Hey Jude gets way more complicated, which we will get into all these, and you'll be able to do them. But I think that is a good review for our online class. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If you found it helpful or you found it to be a complete waste of time, feel free to let me know. I'm okay with it either way. I'm trying to do my best to provide you with something to review here. All right. Thanks so much. Be safe out there. Hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.